Hey guys, it's Holly. So today we'll be having a look at another Lego Disney Brickheadz, and this time it's actually a DuckTales Brickheadz, as it is Huey, Dewey, Louie and Scrooge, which is set 40477. Now, once again, I don't know how many pieces are in this set, but also I don't know how much this set's going to cost, so either I'll insert a clip or please check the description, but this set alongside Daisy Duck will be releasing on June 1st this year, and I'm really excited for this one. This is actually one of the first Brickhead packs that we've seen containing 4 of them, so it's really interesting. But also with Huey, Dewey and Louie, they're all twins, and the only real thing separating them are their colors, so like it's interesting to kind of see how this one will work. But I think the biggest point about this one is that it's actually branded under DuckTales and not Mickey and Friends Like Daisy, which I feel like is a Disney decision because essentially these are DuckTales, although like the Mickey's Christmas special had all of these characters in it and that technically wasn't DuckTales, but nevertheless they're super cute, so let's go have a look at them. So here are Huey, Dewey, Scrooge, and Louie, and overall these ducks are so cute. What I find the most interesting though is definitely like the whole DuckTales branding thing. Like personally, I feel like this has to be a decision from Disney to separate them rather than Lego. I feel like they probably would have just all tied this together as like Disney, but then again it's like Mickey and Friends. Like there's probably some sort of rights issuing behind that, but I'm just really glad that we got these in general. And just like the Harry Potter ones, this is one of the first times that we've ever seen a 4-pack, and all 3 of the ducks share that same like 3x3 sort of build to them. So starting off, we will have a look at Scrooge because all of these ducks are the same, so we'll just look at them all together. So overall, the design of Scrooge is really good. I think it's definitely better, to me at least, than Donald and Daisy, purely because there's just a lot more that you can do with him. Like he's got all the hair on the side of his head, so you can do that with a bunch of cheese slopes. He's got an accessory because you can give him his staff. There's a lot more red detailing, like if you look at the feet and all that, and his red stripes going all the way around. Also, of course, he has his little top hat that again, Donald also had his hat and Daisy's got her bow, but I just think he's overall a bit more interesting. I think the weirdest part to do would have definitely been his little spectacles. I think it works, but then I look at it a bit too long and then it starts to throw me off. But overall, I think they did do a really good job of that. I think it would have been really hard to do unless you had like some sort of like jumper plate half covering the eyes. But I think Lego did a really good job in that. I love the top hat build. It's so simple but so effective at the same time, just using a bunch of these circle pieces and like plates and all that. And as you can see here, you can kind of pop that off and stick it back on. I was really concerned that this little printed piece here wasn't actually going to line up with any of the red plates. On the box, it did look a bit dodgy, but to my surprise, it worked, and I'm really happy about that because that would have been the worst thing ever. It's just that line. No, I say worst thing ever. I'm being a bit dramatic, but like it would have been very frustrating to have that line not line up with these pieces. Yeah, there's a little bit of color variation, which I guess is to be expected. It's frustrating, but at least it's not as bad, I think, as like white stickers on white. Like this definitely blends in a lot better, and from far away you probably wouldn't notice. Also with Scrooge, he does have the regular bases, unlike Daisy, which I thought was really interesting. I'm just not too sure how I feel about this big red plate at the bottom of his neck. I feel like it's accurate, but at the same time, it just kind of looks a bit funky. I don't really know. At this point, I feel like I'm just being really fussy on the Brickhead, but overall, I really like the design of Scrooge. Next up, we have Huey, Dewey, and Louie, and I'm gonna take a look at all 3 of these at once because the build of them all is exactly the same. There is no variation in these at all, besides the different colors of their shirts, which is to be expected. It's the same as the minifigures, like there's not too much. I guess it's kind of upsetting that they didn't come with their accessories, especially since they did manage to give each of them one in the CMF. I feel like they could have easily reused it, especially since it was only the book from memory that was printed. Like we could have had the slingshot, we could have had the little torch, we could have had just a generic book, and I feel like that would have just made these a bit better and give them some sort of variation besides the different colors. Now, what's interesting the most, I think, is about Dewey. Now, the color of Dewey is blue, as to be expected, but the blue is actually Slightly different to the blue that was used in the CMF, and I think this is very similar to the Harry Potter Brickheadz, where they just wanted to have variation with him up against Scrooge, because I know when I was organizing my minifigures from series 2, I didn't want to have Dewey and Scrooge right next to each other because of the blue. So I'm glad that they did actually switch that up and give him a bit of a lighter blue. I'm pretty sure this is the dark azure color, which looks really cute, and I think the three of them complement each other really well, and I think having them in a pack with Scrooge is a lot better, I think, than having three of them on their own and then doing Scrooge in a standalone one. I'm glad you get a pack with all of them at once. I think it just feels really complete and makes me really happy to see, especially if you do get Donald and Daisy as well and pairing them all up with each other. I just think that would look amazing. Now overall, the design of the ducks is really simple. You do get this little hat build, which is kind of in two sections here. You get the little tail just like Donald and Daisy, a very smoothed off round head, a tiny little beak which looks really cute, and then just a plain shirt. There's no printing or anything on these, which then again, their shirts are plain. Didn't really expect that to begin with. Everything is just the duck build, but scaled down, and I think it works really well, and I do love this scale for the ducks. So that is the entire Brickheadz pack, but before I kind of wrap it up, I did want to show you guys the base of the ducks as well. It is that more shrunken down 3x3 style that we also saw with Harry Potter, and I think it works really well. And overall, like I said, I really like this set. I'm glad that you get all four of these characters at once. The only thing I think it's missing is accessories for the boys, because otherwise they're all exactly the same, just with a bit of color variation. Like, you could go and build these out of your own collection. Like, the only really exclusive thing in this set is Scrooge, which isn't technically a bad thing, but if you are buying this set, I feel like you would want them to have a little accessory just to mix it up a bit, just to make it seem a bit more interesting. But yeah, otherwise you can just build these out of your own parts. You could order these off Bricks and Pieces, and then you're really just buying this for the exclusive Scrooge. I do love these little 4-packs. I don't know how many other themes would be able to have a 4-pack. I feel like that's something to kind of sit and watch and wait and see what happens in the future, but just like all of the Brickheadz, I feel like these are such a great thing when you just call into the Lego store and you feel like buying a little set for yourself, or once again, promo or anything like that, like you're just about to hit the threshold. These would make great gifts as well for any Disney fan. And this, like, if you've got Donald and you're gonna get Daisy, you have to kind of complete this off and get these as well. I feel like you kind of regret it if you don't in the long run, just like I do with not getting Mickey and Minnie. But anyway, guys, let me know your thoughts on this set in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this video, please give me a thumbs up and consider subscribing to my channel down below. And until next time, I'll see you later.